Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sara Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today, we've got a stunning collection from our friends at Stamperia called Voyages, Fantastiques. There's pattern paper, there's rub-ons, and chipboard, all with a gorgeous steampunk style. So let's take a look, and we can start with our paper pack. I'll move the chipboard out of the way for right now, and we can get a better look at what is inside this 8x8 pack. So this contains 10 double-sided pattern papers, and here's where you can see the steampunk. This is a style that combines some familiar Victorian-era images with futuristic motifs. It's commonly defined as the future as imagined by the past. And it's a look that I love and one that is really fun to create with. So you can see here you've got lots of clocks and maps, bicycles, unicycles, script, old-fashioned papers with text and distressing. Lots of travel imagery in here as well. Just really beautiful. And of course, this kind of collaged and weathered look that we know and love from Stamperia. Now, you'll also have some cutout images on the inside back, as well as the inside front cover of the collection. And you'll also have some cutouts you can see with this sheet here, where you've got lots of artwork on one side, and then on the other side, it has lots of space for you to embellish as you wish. So lots of different options to go with there. So that is the 8x8 paper pack. Then we also have two sets of rub-ons to go along. We have gears and we have balloons. Now these are gorgeous images, perfectly coordinating with the papers, of course. These are really easy to apply. There are some instructions on the back, but I will show you how to do that. And these are a lot of fun for adding a little bit of dimension and style. Then to go along, we have that pack of 37 chipboard elements, which I showed you, but I've got them all spread out here so you can take a better look at the individual pieces. So 37 all total. You've got nice large images on here, great for focals. You also have some smaller pieces. Here's the second sheet of what's included in that pack. Lots of really nice sentiments here. Again, the steampunk style. This is a really great example of that. Really nice for creative card making and a lot of fun to work with as well. So, of course, everything is designed to mix and match perfectly, making it so much fun to create really fun and different cards. I'm really excited to explore the possibilities with you today, and I'm super glad that you're here. Come play with us. Let's begin with this fun steampunk-inspired adventure-themed card. I have to say, I really love this focal image, which is popped up on foam tape. Now, this is one of the chipboard elements. And this Victorian-era lady is just such a great example of the steampunk style. You'll notice that her hat has all kinds of clocks on top, and then there are these gears down here at the bottom. She's got some wings that look like they're made out of metal. And then there's also this mechanism here on the side of her neck, which is like what you would use to wind an old clock. It's a really beautiful image, and the more you look at it, the more you see. I think it's just really unusual, and the artwork is beautiful. And of course, the size too makes it just perfect for a card focal. Then to make the background, I combined two different pattern papers and then cut a portion of a third paper. So let's take a look there. The striped design is this one here, which I think is just stunning. And I've incorporated a kind of a wallpaper design to go with it. So I've got these two going together, and you can see the portion of this wallpaper design down here. Then I've also got this big, beautiful clock image. I love this paper, but I didn't want to use the whole sheet. So I just grabbed some scissors and cut around the outside of only the clock. Now, when you're doing this, when you're incorporating parts and pieces of this, you could also opt to go around the gears that are on the corners of the clock image itself. But in this case, I just trimmed around that green sort of border there, and I've glued it onto the front of my card. And then I trimmed off the excess from the side and the top. And I've used another portion of that excess piece on the inside of my card. Now, the whole front of my card, no surprise, is inked with the Midas Gold ink pad, and this just worked beautifully with the colors and the patterns and the whole style of today's collection. Then also on my card front, I've got some rub-on. So I've got this balloon, which also has some clocks and gears as part of the artwork. And I've got a steam train down here too. Then I've got some chipboard gears glued down here and the adventure chipboard piece. Now there's also a little tiny gold heart here, and that's from the script dazzles, which I also use on the inside of my card. Now again, here's the other portion of that clock, and then I've got another image here, this chipboard piece with the two wings coming out either side. The wings are actually one piece, which is smaller, so I've just snipped them apart and layered them behind this image. So then I've got another fun card project to show you today, and this one is also using today's collection, but this time in combination with some high contrast cardstock. And for this, I'm using the Newsprint Florals cardstock pack. This is one that I use a lot, which is why there's not very much left of it. You can see all of those gorgeous colors down here. Really great basics to use for lots of different projects. So I've first covered my card front with the black cardstock, and then I added a piece of red cardstock cut slightly smaller and glued that down. Now here's another piece of pattern paper, and then I've got the center area. Now this is a portion of this tags sheet, and it's this portion right here. So I used my paper trimmer to trim out this section here, keeping all four of these tags as one unit. And then I added a couple of rub-ons. I've got a little script bit here, I've got a tiny tag here, and I've got some gears down here at the bottom. And then I've overlapped those tags with some chipboard pieces. So I've got this fun hot air balloon that I just put right in the center there. And then I overlapped it with the Bon Voyage chipboard piece. And then I've also got these two swirly elements that you could do a lot with these two. And I really wanted to use them for something. So I've just added them right underneath the hot air balloon. Now this is popped up on foam tape, and I made sure to add some extra foam tape on either side of the Bon Voyage piece so that I didn't have it kind of collapsing or rocking to one side or the other, so that it's nice and stable, and if it goes through the mail you won't have a part of it kind of crushing off to one side. And I really like having these swirls sort of breaking up the boxiness of all of these rectangle shapes. And then for my card inside, I have a strip of that beautiful pattern paper. I love this design. And I've got some rub-ons overlapping between the pattern paper and the inside of the card, plus a dream cutout popped up on foam tape and a Discover chipboard piece. So now we've seen the rub-ons in a couple of different places, on pattern paper, off pattern paper, onto cardstock. So let's take a look at how easy it is to apply them. I love using rub-ons as card focals, and while they can often be used on their own, you can also layer and collage with them, which is how I'm using this clock rub-on image in combination with some chipboard pieces and a cutout from the collection. So let's have a look. First of all, I'm starting with a cutout element from the paper pack. Now I picked this one because it has a beautiful border down at the bottom, which really picks up the colors and the imagery of this clock motif. So the clock is, of course, coming from our rub-on set, and I've just snipped this out from the main sheet, keeping the two layers of the design together. So you'll have the top layer, which is the rub-on, and then you've got this kind of liner piece. So keep those two together when you're cutting out the piece from your main sheet, and then I'm going to pull this off and discard that other piece And then I can kind of figure out where exactly I want this to go. So I'm going to pop this right down here and press it down. Now I've got a little bit of an edge to my plastic piece here, so I'm going to fold that up so I sort of have something to hang on to. Now I've got this nicely in place, and it is a little bit tacky, so it's not going to slide around. Then I just need to add the rub-on by burnishing it in place. And I'm using a bone folder for this, and I'm just going to go around all of the edges of my piece here. I'm using the side of my bone folder, and just a gentle but firm amount of pressure on here. And then I'm going to grab that sort of handle that I've got and walk this around. Make sure that I've got it all. And there we go. So I've got my rub-on right in place. Now I could leave this as it is because it looks great, but I can also add on some other elements. So I've got this chipboard top hat right here that I'm going to pop down, and then also the time machine chipboard piece that I'm going to layer like so. Now this is a really fun and easy way to give the rub-on image a completely different look, and a lot of fun too. Then the focal is popped up on some foam tape, and it's added to some layers of pattern paper. So I've got pattern paper, and I've got cardstock from the newsprint floral set. I've got some more kind of a check pattern down here. Here's some of this beautiful matte paper, and my card front is covered with some green from the newsprint florals collection. Now I've got some layered rectangles on here. This is using the 12 rectangles and scalloped cutting dies from hot off the press, of course. So all of those dies are creating my layers in here. And so I've got some scalloping going on at the top and at the bottom here. So let me show you what I've used for this. This is the pattern paper. And then I took the large scalloped die design and just positioned this down, ran it through my die cutting machine, and then I trimmed that piece even with the edges of the straight edge rectangle that I cut from this brown pattern paper. So I was able to use two of those together, and it's giving me the matting effect and also a really nice scalloped edge, top and bottom. The two keys here are layered together, and they're glued with some Creative Expressions glue, which I put in this fine tip glue applicator. I love this applicator, especially when you're gluing really tiny things like this, because you're able to get just a little tiny bit of glue. And that means that you are able to get into all of these detail areas without wet glue sort of going everywhere. And the glue itself holds beautifully. So that's what I've used to secure these down. I've got this popped up on a little bit of foam tape as well to keep that lift and dimension. And then I've got a Dazzle Sentiment down here at the bottom. For my card inside, I have another rub-on element. I really like this one here, plus a cutout image from the paper pack. Our final card is made using the Trifold Surprise Card Cutting Die, which gives us this fun fold-out design. This is one of my favorite dies to work with. So let me show this to you. Here it's the package. So you can see you've got one metal piece here. Of course, hot off the press are always going to give you a project idea on the front. And then on the back, you've got some written instructions. You also have, very important, the diagram for folding. Now this one is really simple. You can see indicating on here the V for a valley fold. The M will stand for a mountain fold. So really simple folding on there. Now let me show you the die itself. One big metal piece, so it's just one pass through your die cutting machine. And it will give you not only the outside edge, which is the cutting, as well as the center piece, which is a cut line too, but it will also do all of your score lines on there as well, which just means that you don't have to do any measuring or any fiddly bits. This is very, very simple to do. So here's my piece all cut out. You can see I've got that slit in here. And all I need to do is refer to the mountain fold, which is a peak like this, and a valley fold, which is the dip like this. And then fold those up. grab your bone folder and just score those lines with the edge of the bone folder. That's going to give you some really crisp folds, and then you are ready to decorate as you wish. So let me bring back in my original card here, and you can see I've actually die cut my base piece from some cardstock from the newsprint floral set. And this is double-sided cardstock. So I've got this really nice kind of khaki color on one side. The other side of that cardstock piece is a classic black. So this worked just beautifully with these pattern paper colors. So I've got my focal element here, which is a cutout from the paper pack. It's got the gears on here and really beautiful blending of those gorgeous colors, kind of a soft off-white and then a nice light teal in there. And this is the mat for my chipboard element as my focal. So I've got this guy here on a very cool bicycle. One wheel is appears to be a clock, and the other one has some distressing going on the spokes here. And our old-fashioned gentleman is cycling away. And then very fittingly, the Escape the Ordinary cutout from the paper pack is just overlapping that there. And then for the inside here, you can see I've got my panels, some of the panels covered with pattern paper. So this one piece here, the newsprint and that kind of floral border, that's all one piece. This is another piece of that leftover stripy paper that I like so much. And then this collage pattern paper is one piece too. So I've kind of patchworked some different pattern papers on there together. Then I've got a rub-on element up here at the corner. I've got another one down here. And then I have my Dream Big chipboard piece to finish it off. And this is our final project of the day today. So a big thank you to our friends at Stamperia for these beautiful papers and embellishments. They were a lot of fun to work with. And a special thanks to you for joining me today. We're really glad you're here, and we're happy you're a part of the Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. For the money saver, just see this webisode on paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.